Upland, Ontario, and the surrounding corridor of Claremont, Verne, Chino, and San Dimas are all seeing a similar pattern going into 2026. Prices are mostly flat, maybe even slightly down year over year, but something is happening. Homes are taking longer to sell and buyers have more leverage than they had in years past. It is slower, a more balanced market, but it's definitely not a crash, where strategy, pricing, and presentation matter more than ever. So December 2025's numbers for Upland, Ontario, and their neighboring cities are in, and they tell very different stories from the doom and gloom headlines that you might see. So in this video, we're going to zoom in on that 210-10 corridor of Upland, Ontario, Claremont, Verne, Chino, San Dimas, and nearby cities. And we're going to break down exactly what's happening with prices on the market and the buyer demand. So if you live, work, or invest in this pocket of the Inland Empire and the eastern San Gabriel Valley, or you're thinking about moving here from LA or Orange County, stay with me, because the data we're about to unpack will help you move with confidence and not confusion. Hey everyone, it's John Abril, the local realtor and mortgage broker. And on this channel at the Realtor Broker, the mission is simple: real numbers, real strategy, and real talk for you and your family. So let's start with Upland in Ontario, the anchors of that corridor. In Upland, Redfin reports that in December 2025, the median sales price was about $745,000, which is down only 0.3% compared to last year. Homes in Upland are now taking around 65 days to sell on average, which is more than double the roughly 30 days from a year earlier, which means that buyers have more time to shop and negotiate. The median price per square foot sits at around $430, down 6.2% year over year, signaling that while sellers are still getting strong prices overall, the market is no longer rewarding aggressive overpricing. Within Upland, the city level Inland Empire report shows median price sits at around $779,000, with about 77 active listings and the total days on market at around the mid-30s, which lines up with market that is steady but not overheated. North Upland, Downtown Upland, and Historic Downtown Upland show pockets of strength, with Historic Downtown posting a median price of $740,000 in November, which is up more than 20% year over year and selling in roughly 40 days, showing that a well-located, well-presented home can still command a premium. Neighborhoods like Upland Crossing are seeing prices at around $719,000 and the days on market stretching toward 80 to 90 days, which is exactly what opportunity lies for buyers who are patient and strategic. Now let's slide over to Ontario. Redfin shows that in December 2025, Ontario's median sales price was at about $655,000, down just 0.18% compared to last year, basically flat. Homes in Ontario are taking around 70 days to sell on average, up from 47 days a year earlier, with 91 homes sold in December versus 106 homes the year before, indicating fewer transactions but still steady activity. Zooming into pockets like Ontario Ranch and Central Ontario, and you will see how nuanced this market is. Ontario Ranch posted a median price around the mid-600s to the high 600s, with recent reports showing at about $685,000 and homes taking roughly 60 days to sell, up from the 40 days. So this demand is still solid, but buyers have more breathing room. Central Ontario is showing a median at around $580,000, which is up 25% year over year, with homes going pending in as little as 50 days range on average, which tells you that affordable, well-located properties are still being chased by motivated buyers. So now let's talk about the surrounding cities that so many of us are asking about, like Claremont, Verne, Chino, and San Dimas. In Claremont, the Inland Empire Association Valley Realtors December 2025 report shows a median price at around $1,150,000, with a year-over-year median price down 3%, roughly 32 active listings and total days on market in about the mid-50s. Now, Redfin's November data shows that Claremont's median price is around $995,000, up 9% year over year, with homes selling in about 35 days compared to the 60 days the year before, which highlights certain price brackets and neighborhoods are still very competitive. In Northeast Claremont, the median price sits at around $2.5 million, which is up 13.6% year over year, but with days on market stretching past 120 days, so luxury is still appreciating, but moving much more slowly. Now, Verne, according to the December 2025 report, City Overview shows a median price at around $920,000, down 11% year over year, with about 24 active listings and a total days on market that is sitting around the low 40s. Now, that combination, slightly softer prices, fewer listings, and about a month and a half on the market, suggests that Verne is still desirable, but buyers now have a little bit more leverage and time to negotiate. For move-up buyers, downsizers coming from higher priced areas, the softening creates a unique window of opportunity. In Chino, the numbers are a bit different. The City Overview shows a median price at around $774,888, up approximately 14% year over year, with about 80 active listings and days on market at around the low 40 range. So that tells you that demand in Chino is still strong, especially for newer homes in well-located neighborhoods. But even here, homes aren't flying off the shelf in a week. Buyers expect value and are taking their time to decide. San Dimas is a similar market, but an important one for buyers looking along the 210 corridor. The Inland Empire report shows a median price at around $665,000, down roughly 17% year over year, with around 24 active listings and a total days on market sitting at around 30 days. So prices have adjusted, but homes that are priced right, they still move briskly. Zoom into neighborhoods like San Dimas Canyon, and Redfin shows that the median near the high 700s to the mid 800s, with prices down double digits year over year, but price per square foot actually up, which signals that buyers are focused on livable, updated product while sellers adjust list prices. So how this corridor compares and what buyers should do. Big picture, Upland, Ontario, Claremont, Verne, Chino, and San Dimas they all share a few themes. Prices are flat to slightly down in most of these cities. Upland down about 0.3%, Ontario down 0.18%, Verne and San Dimas seeing more noticeable declines, while Chino still shows a solid year-over-year gain. Days on market are up almost everywhere, often from the 20 to 30-day range into the 40 to 70-day range, which is a clear sign that more balanced market where buyers have time and negotiating power, but motivated sellers can still get deals done. For buyers, here's what it means in practical terms. So if you're shopping in Upland or Ontario, focus on homes that have been on the market for 30 days or more. Those sellers are much more likely to consider credits, repairs, or rate buydowns, especially now that sales to list ratios across the Inland Empire have dipped into the 98% range. Now, if you're looking in higher priced areas like Claremont or Verne, use the extra days on market and small price declines to negotiate from a position of strength, especially on homes that are cosmetically dated but structurally solid. And don't forget the bigger backdrop. Zillow and Realtor.com still project modest national price growth around 1 to 2% and slightly improving affordability in 2026 as rates ease into the mid-sixes, which means that waiting for a huge crash in this corridor is not likely a winning strategy. At the same time, Redfin's data shows that transaction volumes are down and the days on market are actually up. So as a buyer, you can act patiently but decisively when the right home in Upland, Ontario, Chino, or San Dimas hits your criteria. What sellers and homeowners in these cities should know. For sellers in Upland, Ontario, Claremont, Verne, Chino, or even San Dimas, the message is simple. The market will reward you, but not for overpricing. The Inland Empire December report shows that the region-wide homes are selling for about 98 to 99% of the list price. But with days on market rising from the 20s into the 30s and beyond, buyers are pushing back with a home that is clearly overpriced. If you price your home based on 2022 or early 2023 expectations, you're likely going to sit. If you price it based on what is actually closing in the last 60 to 90 days in your micro neighborhood, you can still attract strong, serious offers. For homeowners who are staying put, here's the good news. Markets like Upland, Ontario, and Chino are not seeing major price damage. Most moves are in the low single digits, up or down, so equally built over the last several years is largely intact. If you're thinking maybe 3 to 7 years out, this corridor still benefits from strong fundamentals: commutability to LA and Orange County, access to the 10 and 210, job centers, and relative affordability compared to coastal markets. If you're thinking maybe 3 to 7, and if you're an investor, the story is nuanced but promising. Neighborhoods with longer days on market, like parts of Upland Crossing, Ontario Ranch, or certain pockets of San Dimas, may offer better entry points and more room to negotiate, especially if you pair them with smart financing. Steady demand from renters and buyers moving in to the Inland Empire from higher priced counties continues to support long-term value in this corridor, even with the short-term numbers cooling off. If you're in Upland, Ontario, Claremont, Verne, Chino, San Dimas, or you're targeting one of these cities for your next move, this is where having a local guide who lives in the data every day really matters. If you're a buyer looking to build a plan around your payment comfort zone, current interest rates, and the specific neighborhoods where the numbers are in your favor, whether that's North Upland, Ontario Ranch, or a particular part of Claremont or Verne. If you're a seller, I'll put a custom report using the same CRMLS data behind the Inland Empire's housing data report, plus live Redfin, Zillow, and Realtor.com trends so that you're pricing off of reality and not headlines. This is John Abril, your local realtor and mortgage broker. And if you want a tailored strategy session for Upland, Ontario, or any of the surrounding cities, use the link in the description or the pinned comment to schedule a call. Drop a comment with the city you're in or in the city that you're considering: Upland, Ontario, Claremont, Verne, Chino, or San Dimas. And that might be the next hyper-local breakdown right here on this channel. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this with someone who is thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate here in the Inland Empire. Thanks for watching.